What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel Journey with G Poppy. So I'm going back to a step where I showed you before in the previous video that I marked to dig some holes for anchors for a 6x6 post, and I kind of went through that a little bit with you. So today I'm just going to show you how I'm digging the holes out, and I use the metal stake to mark the center of the hole, and I'll show you how that I'm gonna trace out how big the hole is. And I'm trying to make it kind of small, so rather than use a regular digging shovel as I dig, I'm going to use a digging bar and a spade. So anyway, let me just set the camera down and you can just watch me go to work, and you can sit there and relax while I work. You know, that's okay. All right, let's see if I can get you lined up there. So if you see the stake behind me right there. Can you see that? All right, the stake's right there. Okay, I think that might be a pretty decent view. I apologize, the sun is in my eyes big time. Yeah, I see the stake. Okay. So anyway, I'm gonna mark around the base of that stake and then proceed to dig. So you just enjoy the show and watch me sweat while you sit there and relax. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to trace out around the edge, and as I mentioned, I don't want to make the hole too big, because the bigger the hole is, the more concrete you have to use, number one, and number two, if you make the hole too big around, the 1 foot frame won't work for pouring your concrete. I mean, it'll be cut, because it'll be harder to get it level. So you see how I did that? I just did a simple cut around on the side, right? And then you can just pull it out just like that. Okay. So I'm gonna throw this side to the side, and the stake, I don't need that anymore. So I've got my hole marked. So the stake is obviously no longer needed, right? So, and I know for some reason you guys like to watch me do manual labor. I don't know why, but for some reason, you know, when you're out here, it's really gotten nice today. So I got a little hot while I was digging up. I just finished one hole, so I like to use a digging bar or digging iron, you might call it. So that's what I grew up on a farm digging post holes, and we didn't have, back in those days, we didn't have a post hole digger. My dad got one after his sons moved away from home. He got a post hole digger, but for his tractor. But we dug a lot of the holes by hands around the farm, so I got pretty good at digging holes. You know, so they say stick with what you're good at. That's what I always say. So I'm good at digging holes, I guess. All right. So let's see. So as I get further down this hole, I'm not going to be able to use this wide shovel. I'm going to have to use the spade, as I mentioned. If you have a post hole digger, I never really cared for those too much. Of course, when we did post around the farm, we used telephone poles, because my dad worked for the phone company back in those days, and he would get telephone poles to use for post, and some of those posts, I would say they were put in 1970, and some of those posts are still in the ground today. That's back when the telephone poles had creosote, and the bugs would not bother those posts at all. Now they have them treated with something else. It's not nearly as good as the creosote was. So here I go with the digging bar. And by the way, you know, people ask me if I work out, and I say, yeah, I work out in the yard, I work out in the garden, you know, so that's how I work out, you know. I haven't been to the gym for quite a long time. So as long as I have projects to do that involve manual labor, I stay in somewhat decent shape. So, you know, to each his own, I guess. I would rather have some results, not only to get in shape, but to have something to show for my labor, right? Other than trying to get a six-pack or, you know, whatever, or get, you know, a lot larger muscles. I'd rather have some kind of, do a project and have something to show for it. So the further I get down into the ground here, I'm going to get into some clay dirt. The soil here is really rich, topsoil. That's why I'm able to grow a very good garden here. But the further you get down into the ground, when I get down around 16 inches, 18 inches, something like that, I'm going to start hitting clay dirt. And at that point, sometimes it's easier to reach down with your hands and just lift the clay, clumps of clay out of the hole, rather than try to fight with the spade to dig it out, you know. So anyway, that's what I do. All right. So, and in the process, I'm able to get a little bit of sunshine on my white skin. So I'll get a tan. I usually tan very well. And by the end of the summer, I'm very, very dark normally, because I spend a lot of time outside, a lot of time in the pool, a lot of time, you know, at the beach, what have you. We're just plain working outside. So right now I'm kind of white, so hopefully it doesn't hurt your eyes too much looking at me. All right. And I told you I would try to make a commitment to show you some more of the steps of the projects that I do, and I'm gonna do my best. But again, you know, it'd be so much easier to have somebody videotape you and you just do that way. You don't have to think about where's the camera pointed, or, you know, did the camera cut off, you know, whatever. You can just focus on the project at hand. It would make life a whole lot easier. I'd like to get a GoPro, and I also want to start doing some commercials, like get some sponsors to try to build up a little bit of my viewership. But like I said, if I took the time to video everything, maybe I would get more, and I'd like to, maybe I'd get more subscribers. But I'd like to also, like when I go, the Bermuda video I did, the Bermuda videos I did last year in Bermuda, those seem to be really liked a lot. So when I go on trips, I'd like to do some more videos. And I know when you go to foreign countries, sometimes it's easy to get viewers because there's not as much, you know, in some countries, no, I'm not saying this in a mean way, but in some countries there's not as much entertainment as there is in other countries. So YouTube is really very interesting to people who may live on the other side of the earth, you know. They might want to see how we do things here, you know. And likewise, we might want to see how they do things there, you know. So for some reason, I've always gotten along very well with Asian people. I love Asian people. I don't know why. It's like we instantly have a common bond. Every time I lived in Japan for a year and in the Marine Corps, and I always got along with people really well there, even when I couldn't speak the language. So what I learned was the smile is the international language. So, you know, even if you can't speak someone's language fluently, you know, if you smile once in a while, you know, you make that connection. So, anyway, and I would like to learn some other languages. Like I'd like to learn how to speak Spanish, because like when I go to the Dominican Republic, or I'd like to go to the Philippines sometime. But they do speak a lot of English in the Philippines. But for countries that speak Spanish, I'd love to be able to communicate, you know. But I do love seeing people from different countries and exploring and meeting people, and I just love that stuff. So, if you have any suggestions for how I might be able to learn Spanish in the best way, I know Duolingo is an app you can get, and I have that on my phone, and I was trying to do it for a while, and I guess I got kind of lazy. Let me show you what I was talking about. See right here, I was struggling with that spade. There I can grab that big clump of side or of clay and just take it out the hole. It makes it a lot easier sometimes just to do it that way. So anyway, yeah, you're enjoying this too much, aren't you? I'm getting hot. Woo! This will warm you up in a hurry, let me tell you. And I'm not in the best shape, you know. I'm no spring chicken either, but I managed to get by. So, all right. If I had a GoPro camera, I could show you how the inside of this hole better as I'm digging it. See, there's another clump. See the clay? So see how the clay is? And it kind of sticks together, so it's easier sometimes just to grab some of the clumps out. And you know, and I know some of you are going to give me a hard time about wearing gloves, but that's okay. That's all right. If you did this kind of work every day, you'd have calluses and you wouldn't need gloves. But I try not to do this kind of work every day. In fact, I'm retired, so yeah, I only do this kind of work when I want to, you know. So, and I do try to help other people out sometimes too. It's not always for myself, you know. Sometimes I think we can be very selfish with our time and our talents, and that's not good, right? Not so good. But anyway, so we're very far from, or not too far from being done. Let's see, let's do a measurement here. Drop a tape. So we're about 19 inches. We're about 5 inches away, maybe 6, something like that. What I normally do with this clay dirt, once I get down to the 24-inch mark, then I'll tamp the bottom of the hole, because the clay packs really well. So that's another way you can get, you know, get an inch or two deeper in your hole. So anyway, so let me know what you think about these videos, and you know, I'll try and review your comments and if you have suggestions, something, you know, like I said, I'll be working on this deck early this spring and hope to not be working on it all summer. Definitely, I want to enjoy some pool time and some vacation time. And but I've always said I'm probably the most difficult boss I ever had was myself, because I tend to work myself harder than, see that clay clump, harder than any boss that I've ever had. So yeah, I'm getting a little better as I get older, because honestly I just can't keep up with the pace I used to. When I did siding on my house years ago, I had my brother-in-laws helping me, and I had him out there at 10 o'clock at night with the headlights on the car. So we worked like, I don't know, 16-hour days outside in the heat. And that never bothered me then, but, you know, as you get older, kind of, you can't, it's like that one song says, I'm not as good as I once was, but I'm as good once as I ever was. So I think it's Toby Keith sang that song. But, and it's very true. You know, you may not be able to go like you used to, but, you know, you can go some for a while. You can, you know. All right. So I think we're about right at 24 inches. Very near. Let's see where we're at. We've got to be getting pretty close. Pretty close. All right, let's see. Let's drop a tape. See what we got. We're 22 and a half. I'm gonna go a little more. I could tamp the bottom and probably get 24, but I'm just gonna do a little bit more. Get another inch on the bottom. All right. All right, I think that should do it. That should do it. See the clumps? Clumps of clay. It's really funny how the soil is so rich on top here, but the further you get, the more clay. And the clay, you know, it tends to hold water. A lot of people put clay in the bottom. If they're making a man-made pond, they'll put clay in the bottom of the pond to help keep the water in their pond or the lake or whatever it is they're building. And it's a really good waterproofing or sealing mechanism to use. All right. I know we're definitely at 24 inches now. So no doubt about it. No doubt about it. Let's see what we got. Drop the tape again. All right. All right, we're actually at 20. Yeah, 24. We're at 24. And once I tap the bottom, it'll definitely be 24 all the way around. So I'm just gonna take the fat end right there, the head, and tamp that bottom real good. Tamp that bottom. Yep. So that makes your bottom really solid. All right, there it is. So there you have it. Hope you enjoyed that video. It didn't take me too long. And like I said, let me get one of these braces. So like what I was saying about the size of the hole, see, this frame will not fall down in the hole because I made the holes kind of small. So that frame fits perfectly on that hole. And I'll even bring it up here and show you. Whoops. Right there, you can see. So it fits right around that hole. And hopefully this video was helpful. It took me, looks like Longer than I thought. But anyway, I hope this was helpful to you, like 20 minutes worth. And I'll try, like I said, try to keep some step-by-step videos, and hope you guys have a great day. Take care. Don't forget to subscribe and like and hit the bell for notifications. Take care, guys.